where last we left our heroes, the Crimson Bones. In our Champions of Nirn campaign, we finished our, what I believe to be the 37th session of D&D, if I'm not mistaken. The Crimson Bones spent a few days resting and waiting at the Great Tree, speaking with a recent arrival that was Brandon Reiger, when a mysterious man arrived. A short, well-dressed Caucasian butler, seemingly, calling himself Mr. Archibald, appeared from the edge of the forest and approached the Crimson Bones, the self-proclaimed servant of one Scaramouche the Terrible. He was sent there by request of his master to warn the Crimson Bones that Scaramouche hunts them, and was on his way. The Crimson Bones, unimpressed with the threatening words said by this unarmed man, brutally murdered Mr. Archibald, and Ulzgud Bone-Breaker ravaged the corpse like an animal. As the Crimson Bones rested and trained, they found the remains of Mr. Archibald missing, and Scaramouche nowhere to be found. It was not long before Ulzgud Bitterroot arrived back at the Great Tree, proclaiming he had been gone for years, and allowing everyone to gaze within the ball of wonder once again. Each of the Crimson Bones saw their own unique vision. Afterwards, a great court summit was held for Brandon Reiger to officially plead his case before the Council for assistance of the Crimson Bones in the investigation into Cal Tong and the sources of any trouble afflicting the Trident River nearby, and to also gain any proof of the wrongdoings, if any, of House Sakar or otherwise forces around the area that could be responsible. Though not urgent, it seems like the next large adventure for the Crimson Bones is at hand. Perhaps until then, the party has other matters to attend to, other places to visit. Perhaps with the aid of Ulzgud Bitterroot. Perhaps not. And this is where we find you now, my sweet Crimson Bones, just now finishing the proceedings and mingling some of you in the celebrations of the Great Tree that are undergoing in celebration of this display that you all participated in. You were all kind of left to your own devices for the moment and find yourselves around dinner time. Dinner just being had, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, being served quite freshly. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, I suppose we'll start with you. You find yourself within the base of the almighty Great Tree that Ulzgud Bitterroot and you have called home for a good while now. And you were down within the great roots, in like the basement, if you will, of the Great Tree, with Ulzgud Bitterroot, who has just presented you with a new weapon that seems to you will be pretty substantial in its dankness.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, my boy. Please go ahead. And Ulzgud Bitterroot postures for you to take the Great Club if you haven't already.
Yeah.
It is easily within your possession. It is definitely the largest weapon you have at your disposal currently, especially in the realm of melee weaponry. It's heavy. It can only be used with two hands. It is not a one-handed weapon by any stretch of the imagination. Perhaps with training that can be mitigated, but it's heavy. It's a 16-pound club. It is bulky and cumbersome, but you give it a nice open swing or two out here in the the open space of the great tree, and you can feel the potential energy. This thing is like an extension of your being, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker. You will if you get hit anything with it, you will likely destroy them.
Nice.
A tank weapon. And it feels to you to have the slight hum of magical energy. Seems like you're adapting well to it, my boy.
Thank you, Master. I really like this thing.
I had a feeling you would. I had it made especially for you, my lad. But there will be challenges up ahead, and you may very well need it.
You can face any challenge with this.
Perhaps so, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker. However, and he pulls you close, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker. He puts one of his old arms upon your shoulders with his mushroom hat flopping and his large bug-like eyes, with the large shadows underneath them of his pale flesh. He pulls you close. He's like, "Don't forget, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker. Not everything can be solved with a great club. Something to keep in mind, my boy. There are dangers out there, even beyond me."
There's always someone bigger. That's what I've been told.
You must
I
pick
just
your
want to see
battles.
'em.
My boy, you are strong and courageous, as you are also growing quite wise. I am most proud of you.
Thanks, Master. It means a lot.
Well,
I have something I'd like to show you.
of course, my boy.
And I would like to show him actually two things. I'd like to show him my bag of sus.
Oh, shit, cool, sick. All right, awesome. Very good, very good. You just like just display it to him.
What's up with these things?
Oh, I see. A refined little treat as well. May I, Master Bone-Breaker? And he reaches out for the bag of sauce, taking in his old pale wrinkled hands and fumbling it about a bit and keep giving it a good old sniff. He eventually, it's like, quite fine, and he passes it back to you. I detect many different types of creatures within that small bag of sus. Not all of them, I think, will be useful for combat, as I suspect that is perhaps your intention, Master Bone-Breaker, but all of them have their own special charm.
And then second, I want to know, what do you think I should do with this? And I show him the unicorn horn.
Oh, a valuable find, my boy, a valuable find. And a dangerous thing to keep on your body. Have you been feeling ill?
Not particularly.
How has your fortune been?
I don't know. Pretty good. Unless if you count the whole Scaramouche thing being unfortunate.
Yes. And indeed I would, though I cannot say that is the fault of bad luck. I think that's far more evil doing. But what you have there is quite rare, my boy. Quite rare, quite valuable, and quite hunted. I'm afraid many forces of darkness wouldn't mind getting their hands on something that belongs to a majestic, mystical beast such as that. A being of almost pure good energy is valuable in the hands of evil. I would be wary, Master Bone-Breaker, and keep it low. That being said, it is of great power. What is your intention with it?
I'd like to craft a couple of items with it. Do you know of someone that could do such a thing?
I could perhaps take care of such a thing for you, my young protege. Though it is not something I'd be able to do any small amount of time, you understand.
how does this sound to you? I'm looking for a wand and 2 rings.
From all that, I think it can easily be done, Master Bone-Breaker. Easy indeed. Though it will take time, yes, time, and much of my low-key bitter energy. And he busts out, his muscles and shows you his, his wrinkled man muscles, which are looking, pretty toned for a man who could be hundreds of years old potentially.
Ulzgud is impressed, and he hands over the unicorn horn.
Oh goodness! Oh, and he's wielding it. It seems like it's almost like too heavy for him to bear. And he tucks it down over yonder, and there's this big, centipede that, slithers down from the inside of the cave wall and comes over near Wokir Bidroot. And Wokir Bidroot places this beautiful, legendary, mythical item, which is a unicorn's horn, upon this foul, giant centipede. It's like, yes. Now go on, my sweet pet, and he pets the large creatures. As the creature, starts, making its way deeper and deeper and up beyond into the great tree with your precious unicorn horn, Master Bone-Breaker. I think it'll be about perhaps a month or so, and I should have something to present to you, my sweet Bone-Breaker. All going well, of course.
Excellent. Take your time.
With that, yeah. Anything else for Wokir Bitterroot?
I guess we should head back upstairs. We have some matters to discuss with everyone else.
I would say so. And Wokir Bitterroot you start making your way up the stairs of the great tree, to kind of like a little cellar area that had a ladder, as you recall. This was kind of like almost like a secret compartment beneath a storage room of the great tree. So you and Wokir make your way back up. You have a little bit of a rough time making your way out of the hatch that you made your way in here in. It was a little tight for you to begin with. Now with this great club that you're bringing with you, it's actually, it is protruding out of your frame a little bit here and there. It does have a tendency, as you're finding right now, to get caught in tight enclosures. So definitely something to be wary of. But you manage your way naturally, of course. And before long, are back into the main central chamber of the great tree of Wokir Bitterroot, where there are different jars and ingredients, and it's like a kitchenary area with a small partial counter space, and then that semi large round stump table that everyone gathers around for your that you've all been gathering around the last few days for your morning and evening meals and so on. And there you find Mandion, Gelden, and Skeezewell Binbag. Mandion, Gelden, and Skeezewell Binbag. Wokir Bitterroot and Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, who seems to have a large piece of wood now strapped to the back of his person, enter within through some of the beaded doorways back into your space. And this is where you gentlemen find yourselves.
Mandion Gelden is in the middle of transferring 25 pounds of scrap metal from his backpack, trying to pour it into his bag of holding. Mostly successfully.
Very good. Excellent.
Oh. What are you guys up to?
Just discussing some matters.
Mandion Gelden drops 5 pounds of metal on the floor and quickly tries to gather it together. And after he's done, he actually pulls out his blueprints for his armor modules, and he wants to show Wokir Bitterroot to see if he has any idea this is a good idea or not. I say, Lokir, I know this isn't your area of expertise with all this mechanical nonsense, but
Oh!
what do you think about this?
Hmm.
I show him, my suit and what I was thinking. See if he thinks it's a good idea.
He's pouring it over. He's pouring it over. He kind of like checks out the the sick like opening doors of the back of the knees of the suit. He's like, oh, that's quite good. I like that. And and going about
Yeah, stick your finger up there. Yeah, see what it's all about.
He's like, ooh, and he does. And there's a a light mucus remnants that's naturally left from Lokir Bitterroot's person and his mucus-like membrane that seems to that seems to surround his body. It's like, oh, seems good. Seems fine to me. It seems like a powerful artifact that you've stumbled upon there, Mandion Gelden. It would be well, perhaps, to keep it close to your person. Perhaps even closer than you keep it already. Hard for me to say, but there are things I must tell you about it. Please come sit down, Mandion Gelden, for I'm afraid it's grave news.
Oh, okay. I'll follow Lokir to listen to his story.
And he just kind of motions you down, to the table as well, where Skeezewell Binbag is stationed. And you can hear Syphax outside, with Claygon and Waldwin, and then they're like, ha ha ha, you hear the various, joyful goings on of the fizzling out of the celebration that occurred tonight outside. Your other companions, and you sit down, Mandion Gelden, with Lokir Bitterroot. Lokir Bitterroot tells you a bit more about your suit. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, perhaps you should hear this as well, for I know you are curious about where I've been all these years.
I come right over.
I flew over to the Grey Shore and up to the mountain of Gilgamesh myself and delved deep within the darkness and the horror. And I found many a thing, spent many a good time down there, walking in the shoes of Claygon Brolin and hunting and sniffing for traces of Dram the Dark. I'll tell you now, Mandion Gelden, that the armor you found down there belonging to the dwarves of yesteryear holds with it a terrible curse. Well, perhaps terrible on who you ask.
The dwarves, but I found it through this door. Seems like a whole other dimension.
Oh yes, a dimension once inhabited by dwarves, I'm sure. Magic forgeries like that were not common, but occasional. I suspect it was very well some Master Smith's plane of oblivion, but that's neither here nor there. He tells you, Mandion Gelden, about the curse of Jiggelag that inhabits the suit.
No.
I'm afraid so, Mandion Gelden. I sense a demonic power. It is faint, but it is there. And though it is not necessarily a horrific evil with malice, it is not one of good. Behold the curse of Jiggelag. And then Lokir Bitterroot goes on to tell you about the curse of Jiggelag, which, I might as well update in your suit because it's information now that you will have access to.
Okay.
It's information that's been hidden for quite some time, but now recently unveiled.
Not the curse.
Let's see. Where do I want to put this? Probably at the very bottom.
Told you we should have left that thing.
Skeezewell yells in passing.
Does contain the curse of Jiglag.
Hey, Cyfax, Mandion's got a curse.
Hey, keep it down. Try and keep this private.
You hear Syphax. That's like, what? And then you can hear the pitter patter of
No,
Syphax
okay.
making his way over. It's it's too late. as Wilk here is explaining the curse of Jiglag. There is a reason you could not strike me down in my own tree, Master Mandion Gelden. It is not because of my sheer power. Indeed, if Skeezewell Binbag tried to do the same, he would have no issue. It is because I am the authority of this area.
No, I just didn't want to hit you, I swear. It's definitely no curse.
It is not something you'd be able to feel necessarily, Mandion Gelden. Only until the time comes for you to act, and you are unable to do so. And he goes on to tell you that, essentially, the curse of Jiglag makes it so that, any officials or people of order cannot be struck down unless in self-defense or with their corruption or, evil intent being evident.
People of order? What does that mean specifically?
Like town guards, jail wardens, et cetera, et cetera. Like if you were probably in like the House Stakar HQ or whatever, maybe you might have a hard time, doing battle with like sentries, or individuals who are, who might move, I don't want to say like on the wrong team, right, because that might not necessarily be, correct for House Stakar right now, but saying like fucking
Right.
it's like the Wirchmont in the SS.
Right. Okay. But
it's hard to say. But, for now, Lokir Bitterroot, so as far as you can get from what Lokir Bitterroot explains to you, probably revolving around like town guards and stuff like that.
This inhabits
Sheriffs.
the suit, you say? It's not gonna spread to me?
It's hard to say, as you weren't able to strike me down when you weren't wearing your suit. Mandion Gelden, so I fear perhaps it is the case.
Well, perhaps it'll keep me on the right path. I'm not trying to strike down any town guards. Unless Euron Burnbath is a town guard or a jailer.
Quite right, Mandion Gelden, quite right. Jiglag is the Daedric Prince of Order. But he is still a Daedric Prince. Look, your Bitterroot kind of, sits there for a little while after delivering this message, and he's like, who wants some tea? And again, he goes off making his way to craft some tea, and leaves you, Mandion Gelden, with this interesting news.
Mandion Gelden will sit there for a few minutes, just kind of staring into space, pondering the fact that he cursed himself without knowing. But he decides he can come to terms with it, and will join for tea.
Very good. Very good.
It's late right now, right?
It's getting there, yeah, it's getting there. It's probably about like 6:30ish, 7ish. You guys already had dinner, so you're pretty much in like your wind down phase. And at this point,
Skeezewell wants to go to Ulzgud.
very good. You guys are in the same space, and at this point, Syphax enters into the space as well. So yeah, whoa, what do you mean curse? What's going on here with the cursing?
Oh, it's nothing, Syphax. Nothing for you to be worried about.
What?
Yeah, Leapfrog Man said it's permanent. Won't go away if he takes the suit off even.
What?
But it's alright, because we have each other.
It's alright, Syphax. All it means is I can't murder in cold blood.
Oh shoot. Well,
I'll
you know.
do it for you,
You
Mandion.
just leave it to me. Oh, shit.
Oh, alrighty. Okay. All right. They don't call them the Crimson Bones for nothing. That's us.
There you are, Ulzgud. Hey, check this out.
Skeezewell touches Ulzgud, and there's a spark of electricity as he touches him, and Ulzgud Bone-Breaker turns completely invisible.
Oh.
Yeah, sick. You guys watch. So Computer Guy turns around with Mandy and Gelden with their tea. Sci-Fac's like, oh, and then like Mandy and Gelden, Skeezewell Binbag just comes over. There's a verbal component. Skeezewell Binbag. Do you is there a word, magic word or whatever you care for here?
Yeah, Skeezewell says, and then he flies back, hitting his back on the floor.
Stepping backward.
Didn't think that would hurt so much.
And you watch.
Is he gone?
Skeezewell Binbag sliding backward and looking up as you watch Ulzgud Bone-Breaker slowly until he chameleon effects in with the surroundings until he is not visible.
Oh. Ulzgud sheds a tear. He is so happy.
Now it should be
so
said.
many bones we can break with this.
I also just want to note that tear is invisible to everyone else.
Yeah, including perhaps also Ulzgud Bone-Breaker. You know what?
Not
Give
to say
me
you
a.
can't feel.
Everyone can make a perception check, I guess. But I don't think anyone will actually be able to see him. I don't think anyone is really skilled enough to
Mandion Gelden cannot see him at all.
Where'd he go?
see. Sci-Fax has a 20, but it's not a nat 20. It's only 14 plus 6.
I don't know. Can I see him?
Roll a fucking perception. We'll find out.
Okay.
I would say you have a chance. You did, vanish before your fucking eyes, so. I would say if you might have a chance of seeing him.
No.
No.
Fuck me.
No.
That's persuasion.
Oh, LOL. You're the worst. Oh, shit. well, not bad. There is... I mean, he's there, so, but despite that, you are unable to locate Ulzgud Bone-Breaker,
Damn.
you're imagining where he's standing, but there's no visual cues to tell you that he's standing there.
I'd like to try to touch Ulzgud. See what happens.
Yeah, you reach out trying to find where Ulzgud Bone-Breaker is. And Ulzgud, you find it's like Mandion, it's kind of like looking in your general direction, but it's not quite making, not quite looking at you. As he kind of reaches out and you miss a bit at first, and then eventually you find like what you think could be like the arm of Ulzgud Bone-Breaker potentially. You're like, oh yeah, there he is.
Oh. I pull my hand away quickly. Say, Skeezewell, where do you learn this?
Just was thinking about it. I've got another trick up my sleeve too. Been doing a lot of thinking recently with this big old tree. Nice moss bed. Gives me dreams, Mandion.
Your ideas are becoming more and more terrifying, Skeezewell.
Wait till you see what else I've got in store.
Oh, I can't.
Well, I'll let you guys find him. It'll only last about a minute. I'm off to bed now.
Oh, jeez.
Skeezewell feeds his chicken as he retreats.
Okay. Very good. Excellent. Chicken grows that much stronger. And now it is Sci-Fax, Mandion Gelden, and Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, the invisible Ulzgud Bone-Breaker down here. With a low-care Bitterroot. And I don't know if there's anything else, gentlemen.
Skeezewell already went off to bed.
That's it. He left. He made you invisible
Okay.
and left.
Ulzgud would like to. Is this invisibility something that can be broken, just like at will?
Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. No. Oh, actually, you know what? You can make a... I guess you can make a spell save DC, potentially, maybe. Actually, you know what? No. No, you can't. Nope.
Okay.
Nope, you're just fucking invisible. You're just invisible.
Well, it's gonna be a little hard to come across, right? But I'm just gonna say to Loki here, Master, if at all possible, and if you still agree, Mandion, I'd like to in the morning, perhaps, you could help us get over to Garza.
Oh, I see, of course. It makes sense, it makes sense. Yes, it can be done, it can be done. I have no business going to this city of men myself. Though perhaps you could assist me in a matter there.
Okay, what is it?
I need to recollect and find what I needed done there. I had business in the city of men. It is not somewhere I enjoy frequenting at all. But I know someone over there. Someone powerful, though someone not wanted at this current time for one reason or another. I can't quite recall it.
Well, I could use going there anyway. Maybe I can find some parts for what I showed you, Loki here. There's gotta be something there, right?
If it can be found, it can be found in Garza. Or somewhere else. As I always say.
Well, hopefully it's not somewhere else. I think that's a good idea. It was cool.
Very good, gentlemen. Well, with that, I will prepare the ritual for tomorrow. And I can turn your 7-day journey into a mere 20-minute affair. Though there are rules, and we must be cautious. But we can go over all of that tomorrow.
Well, I'll prepare myself. I suppose we should get some rest. I don't know how this experience is going to treat me.
Oh, it'll be
Bad
something.
idea.
Mandy Gelden will head up to his room.
Okay. Very good, gentlemen.
Ulzgud would like to take an hour to inspect his new club.
Ooh, okay. All right. Very good. Very good. So be it. So be it. Let's see. Is there anything in particular that you're on the hunt for, Master Bone-Breaker?
You said that there's a little magical energy that I felt from it. Perhaps looking into that.
Very good. Very good. After spending a good hour with it, you find that it doesn't need to be attuned to gain all of the magical effects of it, which is quite good. And you find it to be more of a subtle enchantment. It's really more of the, the bulk of the weapon that's, its excellence. And it doesn't seem like it would do any, magical damage per se, It seems really more to you like, to be more on the mundane side.
Okay.
But every now and then, you imagine the nature magic of Loki or Bitterroot will make itself evident in a way that you think only they can. But it's not like bursting with energy as you swing it or anything like that. Unfortunately, you just get a slight hum every now and then, and it's more of a feeling, if anything. But it seems like a fine weapon, though perhaps a good deal on the cumbersome side.
Okay. And after that, I'd like to go to bed.
Very good. My crimson bones off to sleep. You go, gentlemen. Oh, this is exciting. Let's see. The night comes and goes. You all sleep. Sweet little dreams.
Ah,
until the morning finds you. Let's see. You all rise in the morning. No worse for wear. Nothing seemingly amiss.
I would like to use some hit die.
Very good. So be it. So be it. You have all leveled up since last time, of course. So you know, there's for some of you, there's new health to be climbed up to.
Yes, yes. Oh,
And now, plenty of hit dice to play with.
no, of course. Cool.
You all rise in the morning about, 7, 8 a.m. or so. The calm hum of the fireflies dissipate, and these, kind of like an early morning, misty morning haze. The, climate seemingly of the Lokir Bitterroot haven you guys are resting in down here at the base of the great tree seems like it is always on the pleasant side, no matter the time of day.
Oh,
Chickens abound. Gentlemen, all head downstairs unless there's anything you want to take of privately in your respective little bunk areas.
I would like to take up my suit privately in the little bunk area.
Very good. Very good. So be it. So be it.
I will mount the suit.
So be it.
Or is it?
We got a long rest in, right?
Everyone benefited from a long rest. Yep, that is correct. So any 4th level spells that were cast last night are returned.
You really took a lot out of me. Basically, put me right to sleep.
It was didn't seem like much in that because it only lasted for but a moment, but a powerful spell casually cast by Skeezewell Binbag. You all arise in the morning. I'll have a round of breakfast for everyone, as is our standard. I'm gonna be doing a lot of note fumbling tonight, gentlemen. Just a heads up.
Skeezewell halts
Very good.
everyone at the ration table
Oh.
and asks them to assemble their rations in the center of the table.
Oh. Okay.
What? Syphax says.
Ulzgud kind of just throws his in.
Syphax.
Skeezewell sprinkles the rations with a little extra spice
Oh,
and warms
nice.
them all to the perfect temperature for eating.
Oh.
Oh man, this is so cool. I love being a member of the Crimson Bones. Says Syphax. He loves it.
Skeezewell.
Syphax enjoys his last
Is this
ration.
paprika? Tastes delicious.
I'll never tell. Skeezewell lets out I don't know how to describe. It's a fart, right? It's sliding, it's greasy. No one likes it, but that's what happens.
Twats. Ah, Skeezewell.
Oh,
Skeezewell.
This was a great meal. Now it's been ruined. I'm disappointed.
Skeezewell eats contentedly.
Munching around as everyone shares some mixed disgust. And then that's when this weasel comes down the stairs that you guys all came down from your rooms. It's like a big like greenish weasel, just comes trotting down the stairs that and then this weasel morphs into Lokir Bitterroot, who greets you all. He's like, what's that terrible stench?
Wait.
Goodness. And Lokir Bitterroot goes over yonder. Gives you all a debriefing about what's going down today. All right, gentlemen. So, Master Binbag, I don't know if you heard, but I believe the Crimson Bone's destination is the minor city of Garza, trading hub of Atla.
Sounds like a lot of gold.
There's fortunes to be made there, but I must also warn you all, it's not like how it was in recent years. Times have changed in Garza. I haven't seen it in quite a little while, but I've heard things. Things from Brandon Reiger and so on. Be on your toes.
What kind of things should we be on our toes for?
You'll probably have to speak to Brandon Reiger for more information in regards to the specifics. The doings of men are little of my concern until they start tramping around in my forests and in my nature. Damn them!
Well, I say we're the ones they should be on their toes about. They should be on their toes, I mean. I'm not getting on my toes. Not with Ulzgud Bone-Breaker at my back and Mandion at my front and Syphax somewhere in the middle between them as well.
I'm Syphax. Alright, very good, very good. Crimson Bones, you are formidable, just be respectful. Damn it. As I'll be bringing you to Garza using the Lokir Bitterroot Rapid Transmission Technique. It requires a great amount of energy on my part, but I can send the Crimson Bones to Garza, turning your week-long journey into a mere 20-minute ordeal. It is not instant, though it is especially swift. You will all be placed in like a temporary bubble of stasis and launch through the air at a blinding speed. You will be so fast that you will be undetectable, only to the most powerful of beings. Now, what's most important is that once the transportation has begun and you are all moving, you cannot leave from your temporary stasis module, lest you risk rendering your flesh apart at the horrible speed. So do be mindful. I suggest all locking hands is best.
Mandy and Gelden will grab a length of rope to tie us all together.
Smart man, Mandion. Very good, Mandy and Gelden. We can save that for when the ritual's begun. I think that will come in handy. I shall go begin preparations now. Sick. Excellent. Yeah, you guys finish up breakfast. Lokir Bitterroot starts making his way out. Tells you guys he's gonna, start getting the preparations down for what this technique is going to entail. And then the Crimson Bones will be launched to a place unknown. Pretty excited.
It's gonna be great and not terrifying.
Okay, so you guys are wrapping up breakfast. As you guys are wrapping up breakfast, who else comes down the stairs but one Brandon Reiger, who was also resting up there. He retired early in the evening last night. Morning, Crimson Bones.
Morning, Brandon Reiger. Join us for breakfast.
I think I will. Never get tired of waking up at the Great Tree. One of the finer places to rest I think I've ever had on this rock.
I can agree with you on that.
Brandon Reiger helps himself to a meal and sits down amongst you all, the sweet Crimson Bones. So, what are the plans for today?
No, we're just taking a quick trip to Garza. Need to see if we can gather any supplies or make any connections.
You and Skeezewell Binbag, right? Are newbies to the area?
Well, I wouldn't use that word, but we haven't been there before.
Well, there's no other place like it. I'll tell you that. At least, well,
I heard there could be some dangers there.
Hmm.
Sure won't be too much trouble. These city folk.
No, it's just it's weird. Times aren't rough, but they're just odd. The city's in an odd place. A year or two, Dram the Dark really attacked the city pretty terribly over the course of the night, infesting it with all manner of creatures and the like. That really shook everyone up, and Lord Geronimus decided it would be best to encase the city in a great shell of anti-magic. It's not his most popular ruling decision in his reign so far.
Shell of anti-magic, you say? Will this prevent us from entering, or?
No, nothing like that. But if you go to use any of your magical energies, you'll probably be finding yourselves having a rough time. I'm not sure exactly what it does necessarily, but if you go to cast any spells, it'll give you a wicked migraine, to say the least.
You hear that, Skeezewell? Better keep yourself tame in there.
Oh, the magic's all in me tongue.
Skeezewell starts waggling his tongue wildly.
Yeah, well, okay. It'll serve you well, but do mind who you pointed at. They've enlisted an entire other branch of the guardsmen to solely hunt out and stamp out magic users that, are unauthorized in the city.
Well, hopefully that won't be a problem for us.
So long as you guys keep your heads down, I'm sure everything will go fine. Hey.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I've never even heard of magic. What's magic?
Brandon Ryder kind of gets up after finishing his breakfast rather quickly. Turns about, kind of entering into like a small rucksack that has been sitting down here in this main foyer, but potentially his. And pulls out these folded up cloaks that he presents to each one of you. Perhaps one of my, well, not one of my final gifts, but my most recent one. I was thinking perhaps I would wait to give you guys this when you were going to travel to Kaltong, but if you're going to Garza, these might be even more useful there. And he gives you guys all 4 traveling cloaks.
Free.
Yes, as a gift. They're pretty slick. They're really nothing too special. They only weigh like about a pound or two, and they're really more of like capes, hooded capes, that can really help conceal a lot of your like equipment and frame, without compromising you too terribly.
Mandion Gelden tries it on over his suit to see if it's still fits.
Yeah. I mean, it comes out as almost normal looking.
Wow.
Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, you're the one that's gonna have the hardest time with it probably the travel cloak itself probably only goes up to your knees to begin with.
I will still wear it. Still conceal what I can.
Yeah. It can't hurt. But you're
Fan of the stealth.
The Great Club is probably just gonna have to sit on the outside of the
For sure.
of the quote. It's just too wild. Anyway, where is he at? Let me know if you guys need more pointers or whatever. If you're going there to sell anything or buy anything, you're definitely heading to the right place.
Yeah, I need to get some funds.
Is everyone wearing their cloak right now?
I am.
Seems like it.
Yes.
Syphax is wearing his. Like, well, cool. Thanks, Brandon.
Just give me one sec.
No problem. Syphax and Brandon Ryder kind of, chat up a little bit and start making their way outside. You can hear the voices of Clagon and Waldwin out there, and it seems like there's a group commune. And Mandion, Syphax, and Skeezewell are left to your devices. A planned travel to Garza, coming in the near future, it seems.
Yes. Very much so. Mandy would like to follow Brandon Ryger out and also show him my blueprints and my suspected materials, and I'll say, what of this do you think I'll find there? Are there varied shops? Do you know the way? Are there certain specialists that you might recommend?
And Brandon Ryger searches his knowledge. Let's see. He tells you that aside from, like pretty mundane, regular smiths and so on, all like the primo artisans are probably up north over at the Ebony City. That's where all like the great smiths work in the mountains of dragon glass and shit like that. Garza has a lot of craftsmen that unfortunately aren't of the metalworking variety. A lot of their stuff is imported.
Well, maybe I'll find something of use.
He does tell you there's a bevy of vendors there, so you may very well be able to purchase what you're looking for. But custom work, unless someone's put up a specialist shop, that's keeping it pretty low to the ground. He can't point you anywhere specifically, unfortunately.
I appreciate the information either way. And Mandy and Gelden will sit back in the grand tree, mentally preparing himself for the journey.
Very good, very good. Got about like an hour or two to wait, gentlemen. So if there's anything you guys want to take care of, now's the time, I suppose.
Oh yeah, I want to talk to Loke here and ask him if he's happened to find any more of those useless metal balls that I shoot out of my palm pistol that I can take from him.
Oh, let's see. And Wilkie Bitterroot heads over yonder, and gets a rather familiar looking chicken, and he goes about squeezing the poor hen, and out releases a dozen more 32 caliber palm pistol shots.
Damn, nice. Well, thank you, Loke here.
It's the least
Or
I
should
can
I
do.
say, thank you, chicken, and I pet the poor hen.
Oh yes, little Ruby. Master of metal. And then Loki releases the hen to the air, and poor chicken flaps away and runs off into the company of the other ones that are miscellaneously scratching and digging about. And that's when you notice that there's probably a good dozen or so chickens that are formed around in like a circle formation, sitting like a ring in the dirt. And Loki Bitterroot heads over yonder, and that clearly seems to you like where the ritual is going to take place. Probably like a 15-foot, diameter radius.
Manny and Gelden would like to pick up another random hen and try to squeeze it in the same way.
Oh shit!
See what happens.
All right, roll a d20.
All right.
Pick up one of the many low-key or bitter hens. Giving it a squeeze, unsure of what wonders you may find. Let's see. A 2. A 2. Look at you. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. So you squeeze this hen, and you're like, oh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And then as you're like focusing on this chicken, you're like, nothing's occurring. You're like, oh, that's a bit disappointing. And you place the chicken down, and that's when you notice that your balance is a little off kilter for a second, and you look down and see that you are floating now, probably about a good like 6 inches or so off of the ground.
Okay. There's not much I can do about that. Okay. Mandion Gelden will flail and try to swim back towards the ground.
Oh, I see you found the levitation hen! Nice! Look, Bitterroot calls over yonder as he's like digging with his staff in the dirt. And the levitation hen runs off. And you will be despite your efforts to like head back down, you are levitating currently right now.
Help! Look, your help! I'm gonna try to grab it like a tree or.
Oh, it'll be fine. Yeah. You head over to this nearby tree and just kind of grip onto it. You really don't head any higher or lower into the air. You just sit just 6 inches off the ground. It seems to you. You can just like hover.
Nice. Okay.
It's what you wanted.
Great. Can I control my hover? Can I hover
around?
To,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You know what? Give me like a dexterity check.
Nice.
To see how well you can. It's kind of like like the stupid like segue. It's kind of like segue action right now. Oh yeah, no, you're getting it. After like a few seconds, you go, oh hey, just making your way around. You can go pretty fast. You can probably go like 40, 50 feet instead of your usual 30.
Mandion Gelden enjoys himself, and he has a brain blast. He's like, oh. He was writing in his notebook while he's floating around. He's like, hey, Syphax, look at this. He's like, oh, maybe I can come up with something like this for my suit. Be a real pipe dream, though.
Oh, shit.
But...
Man, that's badass. That's really cool.
And I try to pick up Syphax and have him float on around with me.
Hey, whoa. And you kind of like grab Syphax by the arm, you kind of like hoisting him up, and after a minute or so of when you've initially pressed the chicken, that is when this effect ends. And this thing, you kind of like just drop almost onto Syphax, but he nimbly, he rather deftly, like almost like a cat, like breaking your grip, and squatting back all of a sudden in a bit of a posture. Whoa, as you kind of like stumble down. Whoa, well, I mean that was cool while it lasted. If you can get one of those that lasts for a long time, you'd be, if the pipe dream is right. Oh man.
Yeah. I don't know how I do it, but that was really cool.
They better watch out. All right, Master Bones. Is there anything that you guys are up to? Aside from Mandion Gelden and his chicken squeezing.
I'm gonna grab Syphax and go ahead and work out.
Ooh, okay, all right. Working out with the Syphax, man. So be it. Very good. He's more than happy to accompany you on a workout session. No doubt. Let's get an athletics check action. Why don't we? See how he does. Not the best. It's like, oof, I'm still hungover from all that chicken celebration. Syphax isn't quite with it. Seems like he could be a little distracted. Oh, man. Going back to Garza, huh? Man, I sure hope that goes good.
A little distracted myself. Not the best, but better than Syphax.
Yes, Syphax's distraction is distracting you. And you guys find yourselves just kind of like out of rhythm, and it sort of throws you off whack. It's like, I don't know, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker. I'm a little nervous about this whole teleportation thing, or whatever's going on. What happens if it goes wrong and we get like sucked into the clouds, or something, or if we get caught in like a tree?
I don't know.
What
I
if
wouldn't think about that, Syphax.
Oh, well. I mean, I guess you're right. Yeah, shoot.
And I would like to just show Syphax my new club. Check this bad boy out.
Oh, whoa, hey, whoa. Watch out where you're swinging that bad bitch. Oh, man. That thing's as big as me.
Here, check it out. And I kind of toss it to him.
Oh, whoa. And he can't wield it. Syphax cannot wield this weapon. He doesn't have, like, pathetic strength, but he is, his stature is small. He's only like 5'5", probably, I would say. He's definitely not the tallest individual. And I'll have to, what? Fuck it. Fuck him. He's in trouble. Syphax like, he tries to grab it with both hands, but falls right over, into the ground from the sheer weight of this, powerful, low-key, bitter weapon of nature. Granted to you by the Archdruid. So, man, that thing's. I don't want to get hit with that thing. That's for sure. Oh man. Boy, I'll tell you what. I got some new moves to show you. That's for sure. One of these days, I'll make my own Crimson Bones. Believe it.
Ulzgud kind of pushes him. I mean, taking my name.
Well, that's all right. We'll be like
Where's the Crimson Bones?
Well, that's all right. That's all right. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what I'll be. I'll be something someday. If I don't hang out with you guys forever. Which I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
I got high hopes for you, Syphax.
Oh. Hey, thanks. Alright. And with that, the hours comes and goes. The sun drawing close to noon. The humming of the chickens, the scratching of their feet upon the dirt. Hum of insects and crickets chirping. Lokir Bitterroot beckons you all forth. Come, my friends! The time has arrived!
Mandion and Gelden will gather around to the spot you saw before.
Good. There you find Ulzgud Bone-Breaker and Syphax, and Skeezewell Binbag.
Chill.
And then you guys see now that there's a large, like 15-foot radius, etched in, looks like some type of, spell ritual circle of some kind. There's a great many runes inscribed into it, and a great many circled rings within rings.
Ulzgud takes a keen interest in this and looks at all of it.
Doesn't look familiar to you, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker. Lokir Bitter has not dished out this type of ish before. So this is, it's new. It's new stuff. The only thing you would have to even compare it to that you've seen it, you know, in recent memory would be like the, you know, the Goblin Shaman, you know, like summoning ritual, I believe it was, down within the Tomb of Gilgamesh. This is a similar spell, you know, ritual, in nature, but not, you know, not in specifics. The runes are quite different naturally. But, you know, the gist of it is the same. This is some type of powerful, you know, technique that is unable to be unleashed quickly and, you know, requires some preparation. And in this case is, you know, taking up the usage of multiple individuals, as you notice now that the chickens have remained on like the very furthest perimeter ring of this circle and are clearly, you know, all sat in a certain position and or you know, orientated toward the middle. They are contributing in one way or another seemingly to this to what's happening here. And you all take note in the center of these, you know, rings and hieroglyphs and symbols, etc., etc., are 4 circles, kind of almost all like touching each other. Yes, gather now, those that wish to travel to Garza. I'm afraid I can only take up to 4 of you at a time, so I will be unable to go with you. Though I suspect I will be not far behind.
Mandion Gelden counts his companions one at a time to make sure we can all go. Oh, that should work.
Okay, very good, very good. So Mandion Gelden, Skeezewell, Binbag, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, and Syphax, you all stand in your own respective circles, within this odd ring. Lokir Bitterroot, you know, is sitting on the very far perimeter of it. Yeah. Now don't forget, no matter what happens, you must not leave from this sphere that will form around you. It will be very dangerous once you are moving.
Mandion Gelden nods his head, taking out the rope, and he throws a part of it to each of the members of the Crimson Bones and tells them to tie it around a part of their body.
Damn. All right. Well, you heard him. It's everyone's.
Skeezewell ties on and braces himself.
Let's get sleight of hand checks from it. You know what? No, nay. Athletics checks. Ooh. For everyone for a nice tight nodding procedure. Syphax is gonna. Man, you have a rough time, you know, just getting it around your metallic frame. You know, it's a bit of a clumsy thing for you. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, you trying to tie this stupid rope around you in a comfortable way. It was a little rough, but you know, you're easy. It's easy, and the majority of you have nice, firm connections to one another, aside from Mandion Gelden. But Mandion Gelden, you take note of this. It's not actually, oh, you want to hold hands, Mandion Gelden? Extra security?
Yeah, I guess so.
Come on, Skeezewell, you too.
I'm not holding hands with Syphax.
Oh, come on, why not? Huh? Why? What's wrong with Syphax's hands? Poor Syphax. Syphax says.
Skeezewell holds tightly to the rope.
Oh, all right.
Mandion proudly holds Syphax's hand.
All right, buddy, you and me. Come on, Ulzgud, what about you?
Ulzgud grabs both Syphax and Skeezewell.
Ooh.
Oh.
Nice. All right. Okay. Very good.
I'm ready.
Making almost like an odd Z. Lokir Bitterroot's like, good luck, my boys. I'll be sending you along the main roads as to make sure there'll be no obstacles in your paths. I won't necessarily be able to see what you guys will be encountering. So stay on your toes.
Mandion Gelden gives him a salute and holds tightly.
You guys all brace one another as you're unsure what's about to happen. And at the last minute, Waldwin's like, hey, yo, Syphax! And tosses him a fucking some type of circular shit, and he's like, oh shit! And he releases one of your hands and grabs this whatever it is in the air. It's a pretty nice looking wooden shield. He's like, oh, hey, thanks. Don't worry, you'll need it more than me, Waldwin says. And Syphax now has this little wooden shield that will hopefully keep him alive for a little bit. We'll see. All
I
right.
hope so.
And then you guys watch as it's Kwagon and Waldwin, you know, say their farewells, and you guys kind of like check out Brandon Ryger. He's, you know, kind of cool, hanging over on the porch over yonder, and a good amount of the chickens start gathering as the runes and circular glyphs in the ground from like north to south begin to light up and form like this green coloration that kind of makes this almost radiant mist that begins to form around. And before long, you guys are kind of surrounded in this greenish mist that kind of slowly begins to leave your space and forms around you in this kind of like membrane. And you guys watch as Lokir Bitterroot rises out his hands and lifts both of them up as you guys start rising in this bubble in place. Oddly enough, it's a similar feeling to like the levitation effect, Mandion Gelden, that you experienced. And you guys are almost kind of in a weightless space, basically only in a sphere, the room enough for like, you know, the four of you to stand side by side semi-comfortably. It is a bit of a tight fit, but here you all are, and you are raised probably about a good 6 or feet so off the ground. All right, Crimson Bones, best of luck in your travels. I will see you soon. She took it, and Lokir Bitterroot like casts out his arms all of a sudden, and before you know it, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, you take one last look at Lokir Bitterroot before he is like gone in a matter of seconds. You gentlemen are now accelerating in this like tight green sphere, probably at least already 100 miles per hour. Indeed, booking it. Unsure of necessarily where you're going, you are just pushing through the thick vines and like branches that are, you know, just like, you know, like cheering off and so on and so forth. You catch the brief glimpse of like a creature here and there, but you know it's almost like a stream of color that comes by incredibly quickly. Syphax like, oh shit, oh man. You guys don't feel like the wind on you or anything like that. You are like, you know, insulated within this membrane sphere, but you can feel like, you know, a very slight, almost like rumbling, basically, as you are like, you know, basically tearing through the air, on the way.
We're gonna make huge on that mileage fee.
And you guys move 20 miles to one of the main roads that branch off the Golden Way, incredibly quickly. As you are pushing through like the dead woods and like leaving the mist of the fog forest, you gentlemen push outward, a mere 5 minutes later, out of the fog forest, and emerge along like a pathway, and the sphere slowly begins to, you know, to come to a stop just above this pathway, and you're all able to get a decent look around at the surroundings for but a moment. See a wandering herd of Struthiomimus off over in the distance. Your visibility, finally, after quite a few days, is returned, and you can briefly make out like the divots of the Great Trident River and the large trees that surround the the trident that are sparsely laid out. In the very far distance, Calaton. And as you are just really getting acclimated to your surroundings, there's all of a sudden another as you guys are slingshotted down the roadways, probably a good 9 miles in probably but a few seconds. But there's things that you guys have a chance to see. Let's get perception checks from everyone. Everyone who cares enough to try to look at their surroundings. Hell, Syphax will look. Ooh, yeah, no, rough, Mandion Gelden. It's hard to make out much in this space.
Not great.
As well for you, Skeezewell, Binbag. You're pretty much just folk. You can tell that the blue sky above you, the green ground beneath you, and just the fast the landscape coming at you rather unsettlingly quickly. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker and Syphax, however, you watch Ulzgud as like Syphax is looking dead ahead, and your eyes kind of follow his as you're kind of looking over in the direction that you guys are traveling, barreling at an incredible speed. Syphax is like, oh, what is that? And you look over at Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, and you see a man in black standing on the side of the road. Seems to you at first to be like a traveler by until you get closer. In a matter of 2 seconds, almost already, like you are about to pass this individual. From already seeing them, it's a matter of moments that you have to really catch a glimpse of this. But it looks to you like a familiar, cleanly dressed man who you catch but a glimpse of as they seem to be facing kind of towards you, and you could have sworn looking straight at you, and you watch like Syphax's head as he like, kind of turns the trail over his shoulder, like watching this person on the side of the road as you guys are already and out of sight of that individual already. Syphax, oh, was that guy?
Was it? I think it was.
I don't know. It could have been. I thought you murdered him, though.
I have no idea what's going on.
And then as you're pushing forth, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, you're like, fucking, well, whatever, it's fucking, already water under the bridge, basically, you've already, nothing you can do about it. You look over ahead, and you spot another individual on the side of the road, clad in green armor, wielding a large two-handed weapon. And as you are sailing toward it and you're realizing what is about to happen, this figure attempts to take a chop at you, and you are at first taken aback, thinking, what is that? And then quickly, it's an enemy. And then you see a sheen of a blade as it comes creeping through and narrowly misses the sphere. And there's a bit of almost, you watch behind you as there's dust and wind that is kicked up from the strike. Syphax like, oh shit, what was that? And already you are gone and past it in but a moment. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, you have your suspicions, but it is already a threat long past in but a mere few seconds as you gentlemen are propelled ever further forth, and you see other figures on the road now as well. Seems to you like different types of just brown clad figures as now it seems like the sphere is picking up speed ever further more, and you gentlemen are getting even faster and faster at this time. Pushing forth over yonder you see what looks to be like a skirmish of some kind. It looks like, you know, like a wagon or a caravan of some type just being assailed by like 20 or 30 men. It seems like a proper brawl, but you, again, going too fast by it now to make out any details. Crimson Bones, these events are, you know, briefly witnessed before you pull out of a small woodland and head out into these beautiful green meadows that are coming by at essentially a flash before you gentlemen slow down to a halt almost again. In a matter of 15 minutes, traveling like 150 miles. And you are at a crossroads. You see now that the road that you are traveling along is slowly forming into what appears to be a four-way intersection of some kind, and there in your dirt road that you've been traveling along now stops here at this point, and it turns into a lavish cobblestone road that runs north. What would be your guys' you know, right and leftward for a good visible way. And off far over yonder, you guys can catch out the very like glimpse of potentially some type of large structures before you are and the Sci-Fax yells as you gentlemen are all launched ever furthermore in the next matter of 5 minutes or so. Over this time, I'll have perception checks from everyone as well, because here this is a lot more populated of a roadway this way here, and there's a lot that can be seen, whether you'd like to see it or not. The majority. The majority are able to see good things. Mandion, Gelden, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker in particular, it seems to me. You're able to make out, you know, many different travelers, many different types of folk. It seems to you, many different like wagons, caravans, and etc. Packed beasts of burden that, you know, Mandion, Gelden, some exotic types of which you've never seen, but you know, you're unable to hone in on any one thing for more than a few seconds before it's out of view completely. And before too long, the rumbling of the green sphere comes to a stop, and you gentlemen are kind of like plop down rather abruptly into the ground. The green sphere shattering off and dissipating into the air, and you gentlemen are left in the what is now this cobblestone road in public. It seems to you now. There's probably a good like half a dozen people ahead of you, just 30 to 60 feet, in a few different groups, and a good dozen or so people behind you. You have a decent, there's no one in your immediate proximity. But a few people stop and take notice as you guys all kind of fall to the ground and begin picking yourselves up. And you guys are probably only about like a mile, like 2 or 3 miles away from Garza. Not very far at all.
Huh.
Oh.
The
Sci-Fax checking himself.
The people in front of us, so they just seem like normal civilians?
They do seem like normal civilians.
Okay.
Riding off your high perception. They just seem like traveler folk. They've already begun moving on.
All right, good.
At this point, hard to see what they saw from their perspective. They definitely, took brief notice of you at least a few of them, but they're, simply carrying on their way. It is almost high noon. The weather is quite clear, gentlemen. It's a beautiful, bright blue sky. Around you, immediately in this cobblestone, you're sitting in this cobblestone road area, quite large, large enough for like 2 wagons to head by side at least. Immediately around you for landscape, rather than the green meadows that you are accustomed to, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker in the Grand Plains, this is all farmed land, pretty much. Getting this close to Garza, You find beautiful golden fields of wheat that are here. For just about as far as the eye can see. You can make out the occasional hamlet. You know, it seems like there are some, you know, individual little farming complexes and, you know, etc. You know, kind of like scattered and sparse throughout here, but really there's it's quite clear what direction you guys have to go if Garza is your destination. As you can see the great walled, like towered city, probably a good like 3 or so miles away. Everyone seems to be, you know, as far as you guys have, you know, how you guys are feeling. It's up to you, you know, if momentum or like speed or like whatever like that, however your characters feel about that type of thing, you know. Aside from that though, no one's feeling any worse for wear. I will get some constitution checks though to make sure.
Oh, I'll give you a constitution check. Save or?
It can just be an attribute check. It's fine. It's fine. Syphax is a little woozy. He's a little shaky in the knees. And again, you were a little unsettled by, you know, just by the nature of how helpless you were in that engagement, but you seem to have made it okay. So, you know, it's just another notch in your belt.
All right.
To one degree or another. Skeezewell, Binbag, you find yourself as well to have made the journey okay. Syphax is probably the one that's taken the worst of it.
Anyone else feel a little sick?
Yeah.
I don't feel normal.
Well, that's you guys.
I try to hand Ulzgud a ration.
Oh shit! I still need to make that roll, don't I?
Oh, no.
Ulzgud takes it.
All right, here we go. Oh shit!
Yeah, well, you know, you're feeling about the same, you know, as Syphax. Not too great, not too bad. There have been smoother rides, and you know, it's probably the fastest you've gone in your life. It should be said. So you know, it's definitely something to be experienced. Probably like your top speed was like 400 miles per hour, going pretty fucking fast.
Well, I say we're looking awfully suspicious standing around outside the city. Maybe we should go blend in before we raise any more attention.
Yeah, all right, let's go. Syphax seems eager. He seems like an eager beaver. And you gentlemen have, you know.
Skeezewell raises his cloak.
Good. Very good. In an attempt to keep a low profile, Crimson Bones march on. And it's, you know, seems like everything is fairly well around here. You're probably pushing up about, you know, walking along and on, you know, a paved road, something that, you know, the Crimson Bones really have yet to experience. It's different. You know, it's far different feeling. You guys are far closer to civilization than, you know, you ever have before. Every now and then, you know, there's some travelers that pass you by that are weaving on, you know, on the other end of the road. Every now and then you get, you know, a strange look, you know, but no one really seems to make too much of it. Let's get some. Well, you know what? I would say Mandion, Gelden, and Ulzgud Bone-Breaker with your shrewd eyes. You spot a man in blue, probably about 200 feet or so ahead of you, kind of like standing up on like a mound of dirt that's along the roadside, looking over toward the city.
A mound of dirt overlooking the city. Okay. Does he look like a normal human man?
I would say so.
All right. Kind of an odd question, but
He was like a humanoid at the very least.
Okay. I would like to approach this man in my full suit of armor. He's like what, within walking distance, pretty close.
Yeah. I mean, if you
Okay.
just continue on your path with your party, you should be able to, you know, like branch off and speak to him pretty easily. You know, he's probably only 30 feet off the road up on this mound of dirt.
Mandion would like to approach him and say, "Oh, good day, sir. Quite a great new day in Garza, isn't it? Quite the magic dome around here."
As you're saying this, you are, you know, should be set. You know, you guys are getting ever closer now. You can see, Mandy and Gelden, what looks pretty familiar to you. This large blue kind of like membrane, that rises up and encases the entire city, within it. A good portion of it kind of disappears up against the blue sky, but you know, every now and then you see, you know, the cloud and the light reflecting in just such a way where you can see it shimmer and you can kind of get the, you know, the rest of its shape figured out in your mind. It's a immense magical barrier. Mandy and Gelden, as you are moving up to greet this individual, probably about 20 feet or so, you know, behind them on the stairs, as you're kind of admiring this magical barrier, you get a better look at them. They're definitely wearing blue robes, it seems to you, and they have a pointed hat, pardon me, and seems to you like a fine staff, of some caliber that they raise up toward the city, and you're like, oh, and all of a sudden you cut your sentence short as this figure is clearly doing something, as you can feel the winds of magic start to like blow and circulate around you as this figure's like cape and so on rises. And he lifts up his staff, pointing it toward the city, and he like says these terrible magical words, and a bolt of lightning is cast out all of a sudden from this individual, and the lightning bolt like careens over, like tearing through the sky and striking against the barrier of the city, and ricochets off and like pierces off over into the clouds, parting it in such a way, and there's like this booming echo that carries on as you like shield yourself, you know, from this terrible arc of electricity, that you know just tapers off, and as the sound rolls off, and the other crimson bones are at arms, this individual stands upon their mount and says, damn it didn't work, and he turns around and he's like, oh, sorry. Didn't see you there, metal man.
Manny ignores the warning signs. Says, "I say good day, sir."
Oh.
Quite the magic dome here, isn't it?
Oof. I get a little lost in it sometimes.
What are you doing up here? You testing it out, or?
Yeah, for all it's good for. Damn Geronimus and his crazy ideas. This barrier's a disgrace.
Oh, what does he have to do with it?
It's his idea.
Well, seems like quite an achievement to me. What are you so upset about?
Doesn't make a good way of life for people like us. People like you, I suspect. And he kind of looks you over.
Maybe, but he had to have done it for a reason. Forgive my ignorance.
It is true. The taint of Dram the Dark is evil, but should one man's wrongdoings bring down the wrath upon the rest of us? You know what I'm trying to say. It isn't right that we should all be punished because one man does wrong.
I suppose.
That's my whole thing.
Well, maybe you could have a chat with him. See if you can't sway him the other direction.
He's stuck in his ways. Everyone's so fearful of Dram the Dark. And Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, I'm sure at the raised voices of Dram the Dark and this and that, Mandy and Gelden, you know, I'm sure this figure's attracted attention. Who's interacting with him? Who has an interest in interacting in this scene, aside from Andy and Gelden? I'm sure everyone's
I do.
listening in. Okay, all right, very good, very good. I'm sure everyone's at least listening in. Syphax is like coming up to Mandion, like, ah, what was that lightning? What wasn't it? And the guy kind of laughs. Seems like could be like a Breton, maybe this guy, like silverish graying beard, probably middle aged, seems to you.
Why are you attacking the city's magical dome?
It's no good, trust me. It doesn't seem like I could have put a scratch in it anyway.
Well, where does it come from then? How's it here?
Source of it? I hear it comes from deep underground. They keep it locked up where people can't see it, of course.
Deep underground. Well, perhaps the days of Dram in the Dark will cease eventually. This won't have to be a problem anymore.
I think they have. No one's seen Dram the Dark in these parts in at least a year now or so. There's the occasional creature left over from his magic, but it's nothing that the town guard and even the citizens can't deal with.
Maybe you're right. Mandion Gelden doesn't really lead anything on.
I look at Mandion Gelden. Look at him. I keep my mouth shut.
So,
I don't suppose Dram Dark has any interest in a place like this. I'm sure it'd be just fine if it didn't have a shield.
I don't know. I think people are strong enough to make their own decisions and take care of themselves. Like you folk. And he kind of like looks you guys over a little bit. Say, name's Merlin.
Mandion Gelden keeps it broad and says, "We are the Crimson Bones." And he will reach out a metal hand beneath his cloak to shake his hand.
Ah, well met, Crimson Bones. I see. Your first time to the city of Garza?
Maybe for some of us, but not all. I don't like coming around these parts too often.
I see. It is odd times. Come, I'll walk you over.
Mandion Gelden will nod his head and allow him to lead the group.
The middle-aged man just makes his way down the dirt mound, and Syphax is like, "Oh man, that was kind of cool, huh, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker?"
Yeah, I liked it.
That guy was nuts. I hope we see more magic like that, and I hope it isn't pointed at us.
Skeezewell takes the tail, carrying the bags with his head down, unsuspecting.
Very good. Doing your utmost to keep a low profile, Skeezewell Binbag. It'd be pretty easy to catch attention around in a place like this. And you gentlemen continue on your way. Along the path you see, you start seeing more and more traffic as you were getting closer and closer to the city. There's some buildings that are on the exterior of the walls, that carry on for a good ways, and then the farming, residential buildings get, higher and higher in quantity as you get ever closer. In about another hour or so of walking, and you gentlemen have basically arrived at the city of Garza. It's fucking big.
Very nice.
It's fat. It's huge. It's big, it's fat, it's huge. It's kind of a big deal around here.
Is there a lot of security around?
Let's see. Where would you guys be right about now? Let me visualize it all.
Do it.
You're probably still a good 700 feet or whatever away from the main gate. you know, to get into the perimeter. And you haven't seen much in the way of watchmen or, you know, any type of men-at-arms up until, you know, up until then. It's all been relatively quiet. There is an increase in the amount of foot traffic. So now you guys are, you know, like intermingling with you know, in like the traffic now at this point. It's hard to keep your own, you know, your own space as it were before, you know. Now you're really, you know, not quite shoulder to shoulder with people, but, you know, people are in, you know, definitely higher concentrated groups, which is something a little bit different. You know, there's most of the individuals look pretty plain. You know, they look like farmers, field workers, regular townsfolk. All like the rich, pamby, well-to-do types seem to be, you know, in you know, more concentrated groups like wagons and caravans and stuff. The occasional one comes by. There's all manner of cool like pack beasts and etc. like that. And as you guys are getting ever and ever closer, you know, there's people moving luggage around and, you know, and so forth, moving supplies. You do take note, Mandion and Gelden. I would say in particular, one of the large gray, like four-legged, like beasts that you saw, when you went to that other dimension in that demon door, and saw quite a few of them. There's one here, and it seems like it's, you know, like you know, like you know, you see like a guy, like, you know, sitting there kind of like looking at it, like, you know, seeming like, you know, handling it, you know, right, to, you know, to some degree. It seems like it's, you know, carrying like hay or, you know, etc. You know, upon its large like gorilla-like back. So, you know, that takes your eye, but, you know, other than that, gentlemen, it's the occasional fare. The road is only getting higher and higher in quality, though it's getting, you know, a bit more filthy, as it were. And as you're making your way north up the Golden Way, intermingling with the fine people within the golden fields of wheat and etc. Yeah, hamlets spread out as far as the eye can see. There are chickens aplenty for all of those chicken lovers out there. The chickens are happily represented here. Tons of, you know, mundane livestock that one would expect. And the large 30-foot... Oh, silly me. It should have been said. You guys have passed through the magical barrier already at this time. You pretty much hardly even noticed it. It had no effect on your persons or anything like that. Seems to you, I would say, Mandy and Gelden, you're probably the one that could feel these things out with Ulzgud Bone-Breaker coming in a close second. It has like a mile radius around the city, so you know, it's pretty you know, pretty considerable as far as size is concerned. But, you know, doesn't make you feel any, you know, odd way or ill or anything like that. You know, gentlemen passed right through it, and some of you in the midst of your conversations, I'm sure, you know, hardly even noticed it. But it is important, you know, you are within it. Let's see, drawing ever closer, you take note of the large 30-foot walls that surround the entirety of the city. Within the city walls, you see, you know, a lot of protruding buildings, very, very vertically stacked, some spires. Take note of two very large towers in particular. It seems to be the two largest structures of the city. And unless there's anything that anyone wants to do before you guys get any closer, your journey continues.
I don't have anything. I'd like to continue.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So be it. Drawing ever nearer, my sweet crimson bones. It isn't long before you gentlemen are stuck in traffic.
No.
Probably about a good 150 feet or so away from the main gate. you take note of now you definitely spot authority figures before too long. Every now and then you see them in teams of 2 or more, kind of like eyeballing and checking out some of the various travelers up ahead, inspecting some goods, etc. like that, Seems like they are blue-clad men-at-arms, like medium armor, and like nice-looking kettle hats. They don't seem like they're, overtly aggressive or, authoritative or anything like that. But you do take note of, there's a decent amount of them. And they seem like they're trying to, filter, the input, the in-traffic of the city by doing some kind of, light screening. So it's up to you guys how you want to proceed. You can try to, nonchalantly go along with it, or, take extra means to make yourselves go unnoticed if you feel it's necessary. But as of right now, your journey is continuing, my sweet Crimson Bones.
Mandion will make sure his mask, his helmet mask isn't covering his face, and that his cloak is, over his armor the best he can.
Yeah, hey, well,
And we'll try to act nonchalant.
Double checking yourself. You tell Merlin kind of like lowering his voice as well. Anything from anyone else, or is that?
Skeezewell's laying low.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The best of your ability, gentlemen. Let's get some sleight of hand checks. Not necessarily appropriate, but I think more interesting in this case than a stealth. We're going for subtlety here. Oh, Mandion Gelden, you managed to keep yourself wrapped up pretty well.
Hey.
Syphax and Skeezewell Binbag, you guys, despite trying to, be inconspicuous, and oddly, even though Syphax and Skeezewell have the smallest frames, they are attracting the most attention. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, you're kind of like, in the shadow of Mandion Gelden, and make sure to keep yourself in between, any guardsmen and large groups of, travelers to try to just break line of sight and at least keep moving. Syphax is like checking out like all the stuff, and like, oh man, whoa, check out that, oh man, oh geez, he's totally lost the plot. As far as being subtle is concerned. And Skeezewell Binbag, you are you're having a hard time as well. Just trying to keep it together. You find your knees to be a bit more shaky than
The bird is still in there. Shitting, and so it shits. Oh fuck. And then Skeezewell has to use prestidigitation to clean that every time. And he does. It's not inconspicuous.
It's a bit awkward. And you think, Skeezewell Binbag, that you may have attracted attention. As your friends are kind of pushing in a bit more of a rightward direction, you're kind of left suddenly in the back after cleaning up yourself, and 2 of these guardsmen are approaching you. Seemingly. They are making strides in your direction. Master Binbag, what do you desire to do, if anything?
He's trying not to look. He knows.
Okay. All right. Are you trying to catch up with your friends? Is that the...
Yeah, just moving along.
All right. Continuing on as normal. Trying to put it out of your mind. You can see the large frames of Ulzgud Bone-Breaker and Mandion Gelden, clad in their travel cloaks up ahead, with Syphax lingering just over their shoulder, and you make a hasty effort in that direction, without looking too conspicuous, of course. Why don't you give me a stealth check, Skeezewell Binbag? Ooh. It's close. It's close. You hear someone call out, "Hey!" as you're like slipping through like a small crowd of like peasantry and people, and like a few people look over in the guardsman's direction, but you are not one of them. You continue making on your way until you feel yourself safe, and then you peer out of the corner of your eye and see that the guardsmen have grabbed Merlin, your traveling wizard companion that you've recently met, and they're like, yeah, don't think we didn't see that. and they have Merlin, it seems, in that's the last you see of him. Skeezewell Binbag before, like, some peasants block your line of sight and you continue moving on with your business.
Serves him right, bloody wizards.
The blue-robed man Merlin is apprehended at this time.
So uncivil.
And at this point, you guys are, now you're kind of congregating in a sea of people. It seems like this is one of the only entrances into the city, and a lot of people are interested in getting in here at noontime. But you guys are here pretty much at the stroke of high noon, basically. At this time, the sun is at its highest point in the sky. Looking up, there's a blue hue that's cast over everything beyond the barrier, with the light shimmering through it. It is quite beautiful. It's like being it's almost like being underwater and looking up at the surface. These are some of the light rays casting through and etc. And you gentlemen are only like again about 150 so feet away from this large gate, and kind of shuffling and making your way through the crowd without causing a disturbance. You take note of some guardsmen out of the corner of your eyes, Mandion, Gelden, and Ulzgud, but there's just simply so many people that they don't have the ability to filter or examine them all in any type of detail. So you gentlemen attempt to slip through unnoticed. Let's get some more stealth checks. Skeezewell Binbag, I'll make you ride the 7 that you rolled earlier as punishment.
Skeezewell is nervously.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here, guys. They captured magic people there.
Making
They're
your
taking
way.
them away.
Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, you managed to get out pretty good in this regard. You're swift and you kind of hug the wall to keep yourself from bumping into any of these individuals. You stick out in a sea of people rather easily just due to how large you are. So you stick to physical obstacles instead, and that seems to work out quite well. The others trying to trail in your path, you guys quickly kind of get a tad bit separated, not by very much, but now you guys are almost in like a single file, maneuvering and wiggling your way through the crowd. And this here is where we will take our break, gentlemen, as we are about to enter Garza and see what lies within this great trade capital. All right, where we last left the Crimson Bones. You gentlemen had just survived a bit of a harrowing journey and arrived successfully at the minor city of Garza, the trade capital of Atla. You guys are currently, after sneaking your way through the first layer of guards, you are in like the sea of individuals that are coming to and fro from the city in their daily routines or other travelings, and you gentlemen are just in the thick of it. It should be said, you gentlemen would be approaching from the southern gate as you've been traveling northward this last hour or so to get where you've been trying to go. And there are, the walls are imposing, made of dank a dank dark stone, probably, a good 30 feet or so high from the ground. Very, imposing walls. Difficult to gauge the thickness of them from the perimeter, as is their, one of their many benefits. But Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, and you know, you take note of quite a few men-at-arms, you know, up on the top of, you know, the walls and the battlements. Looks like they got big, fat crossbows. As a matter of fact, over yonder, you saw some of them training in a field not too far away, doing some crossbow training. Seems like crossbows are all the rage around here. Nice, big, fat ones. That being said, you also take note of, gentlemen, as you're getting ever closer to the southern gate, there's two large towers, you know, that surround the archway to the into the city, you know, as the portcullis, as it were. Mandion and Gelden, you are kind of leading the pack right now at this time, as Ulzgud Bone-Breaker is swelling up against the wall and doing his utmost to pretty much go unseen and not attract attention. You find yourself at the head of the pack, kind of like the Syphax staying behind with Ulzgud, and you are in the sea of people.
Very good.
But you see an opening here, you know, where you can slip by unchecked, and hopefully unnoticed, and head in with the traffic, kind of like hanging on the right side of the road, as you have been, as the traffic's been going. Seems like you may very well just be able to disappear into the sea of individuals if you play it just right.
I'll certainly try my best.
Okay. Very good. As you're making your way through, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, Mandy kind of like turns the corner, disappearing underneath the portcullis, out of your sight, and you're like, oh shit, and you kind of swarm on over as and Syphax kind of sticks close to you, almost like shielding you in a, you know, a nonchalant way. And there's some other, like, you know, large men bringing in supplies and such at this time. And you think now's the opportunity to slide on in. Skeezewell, Binbag, you're kind of hanging a bit, you know, bit furthermost in the back, and you're seeing out of your periphery, Skeezewell, Binbag, that these blue-clad men, they have like seems like gambesons onto you with just their banner laid over it, in blue. The guards seem to be rocking blue. It seems to you, and these brimmed metallic helmets, known as kettle hats, which are rather styling. It should be said.
Skeezewell takes careful note of the attire of these people.
Definitely seems like the standard uniform. And you notice up upon, you know, the large towers that form the portcullis, are the banners of the city. It is a blue banner with 3 golden rings within it. And Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, of course, you know this to be the heraldry of Garza. But you know, Mandion and Gelden, Skeezewell, Binbag, as complete newcomers to this area. You know, it's all things you would take notice. It's really the only bright coloration, you know, you would find on the perimeter battlements. So it's probably quite eye catching. That being said, though, Skeezewell, Binbag, you've almost lost your friends in like the sea of individuals, and you do your utmost to push in and also go unseen. Probably be all right doing so, as you're rather unconspicuous looking in general, but it may just take a bit longer than usual. Mandion and Gelden, leading the pack currently, and just, you know, heading through the swarm of people. I'm not sure how you feel about crowds, Mandion and Gelden, but you know, this is you are certainly in a situation that if you aren't a fan.
Mandion Gelden is uncomfortable with it, but he feels a certain layer of comfort with his armor on, separating him from the rest of the people.
Yeah, it is true. It is true. In some ways, you are insulated from the outside world, and you kind of keep that comfort in your mind as you remain trying to not attract attention. Slithering by the southern gate and making your way through. Skeezewell, Binbag, you take note of the guardsmen over yonder, as stated previously. Two that have Merlin. They kind of like have his arms behind his back. Where it's like, hey, release, unhand me. And you watch as these blue guardsmen hand off this blue clad wizard to these other like 2 or 3 guys, which look very different than the other guardsmen you noticed before, clad in like yellow robing. These gentlemen, they seem like they are like you know the real I don't know, the takers. and you know your eye kind of beams out of them at the corner of your eye in that direction. And you know, of course you quickly move on, but that, you know, an important note. And it seems like that dastardly wizard has been apprehended quite rightly. Mandion Gelden now leading the pack deep in the portcullis, in this crowd, putting up with it. You eventually come to like a standstill. There's something, you know, occurring in here in this portcullis, you know, that's, you know, perhaps it's just like the traffic, or, you know, someone's been stopped up ahead or something like that. As a matter of fact, as you're wondering what's happening, there's a call from behind. It's like, "Hot the way! Inquisitors coming through!" And everyone kind of stops and you know, makes a small parting, and there's some, you know, murmurs and, you know, etc. from the crowd about, you know, oh, Inquisitor this, Inquisitor that, you know, standard fare. And you have this opportunity, Mandion Gelden, to kind of like slide in a bit further while there's this lull in the crowd, and make some ground while the attention is focused, you know, away from you in this, like, you know, center parting of the portcullis. As you watch these golden, you know, robed individuals escort Merlin, you know, along, and you can hear like the, you know, well, you can't hear Merlin say anything actually.
I'll make sure I stay as inconspicuous as possible, sticking with the crowd. I will try to watch where Merlin is taken inconspicuously if I can.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's just being transported through the crowd. And if you wanted to get a better look, you'd have to, you know, take this little avenue that you can spy by one of these those large like gray creatures as described before. There's one in here in quite close proximity to you at this time, kind of like standing just, you know, a few feet in between him and the very wall of the portcullis. And there may be enough room for you to swell on through in between, yeah, and make your way ahead, and perhaps keep up with the, you know, with these individuals. But they're, you know, their way is unobstructed right now, so that, you know, so they're moving.
I will try. I'm not gonna make an effort to push through the crowd and keep up with them or anything. I'm gonna try to keep moving with the crowd so that the rest of my team can stay with me. But I'll try to keep an eye on them, see if I can keep sight on them.
Okay. Do you want to try to swell through this gray animal?
Yeah, I'll try to do a little slalom.
Make a like a, you know, dexterity check. Flat.
Dexterity check.
See how well you can swell. Excellent. Well done. Seems like you haven't agitated the beast by any stretch of the imagination.
Good.
Ulzgud Bone-Breaker right behind Mandion Gelden. You spot as Mandion Gelden is taking this opportunity while the crowd has kind of been a lull and forced to, like, you know, shift in the way and tighten up. You see the way that your friend is going through, and you see Mandion slip through, and you're like, oh shit, that was slick, and you have the opportunity to do the same in this moment if you desire to do so, to keep up with Mandion Gelden.
Yes.
Okay, you can make a dexterity check as well. Flat. Ooh, okay, all right, not so bad. You're nudging your way through, and you find that all of a sudden your great club kind of becomes lodged on like one of the hind legs of this large gray beast. a creature you know to be an Elcor, as it is a beast that you would be familiar with, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, being a native to this fine land. And all of a sudden, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, as you attempt to adjust your great club, you turn back to face Mandion and Gelden and slow your way past this large great being, and it turns its face around towards you, showing you its small black eyes and its gray gill-like mouth. It's very large, and it kind of like leans down over in your direction. And the creature speaks to you. Do mind where you are treading?
Oh, my apologies. Won't happen again.
Genuine enthusiasm. It is so kind to see. It is so nice to see kind wanderers. And he moves over to the left with his large curled up fists. You've noticed Ulzgud Bone-Breaker for his front arms, and less impressive hind legs, but the creature's back is up to about your head height at least, and the creature steps aside and allows you to pass by.
Thanks.
And the beast, nods a bit. And the first interaction with an Elcor is had. Pretty sick.
Good old Alcor.
How disturbing.
Manny Gelden, yeah, you take note. The creatures that you once thought to be like pack beasts, are able to speak and seem to be more like a race.
Gross.
Than anything else. And you
does not put me at ease.
you say, sees open bag, trailing behind Syphax now as you guys are all slipping past this large Elcor. And Manny and Gelden, you at the top of the pursuit. You're coming through now the other end of the portcullis, out of the shade, within the crowd, the sun hitting down upon you, and you are officially within the streets of Garza, gentlemen. It's still a little packed for now. It seems like there's only really one main road as of this moment that continues to beam into the heart of Garza. It's a nice beige stonework all around you. The road side has improved. The buildings are very tightly packed together. It seems to you like you as you are exiting through this portcullis, you're flanked on either sides by rather tight buildings, very vertically stacked. Windows abound, roofs are tiled, smokestacks are visible from chimneys, from the rich and poor, etc., etc. Immediately from where you guys are entering the southern gate, you can make out Mandion and Gelden over in the distance, as well as Ulzgud Bone-Breaker. The very top of what Ulzgud Bone-Breaker to be the Temple of the Nine. I can just go ahead and mark that immediately, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, because you're familiar with that. That big structure over there in the center of the city. It's the Temple of the Nine. Cheers. It's a big, beautiful golden spire that reaches up over into the heart of the city. It's a good navigational point. As well as, let's see. Yeah, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, you would also take note of the other large tower that would be over to the northeast, far over yonder. It's another great spire, one of the other two that you notice at a distance when entering the city. And it has a bunch of corvids that circle around it, a bunch of blackbirds and ravens, etc., that circle up at the very top of the structure. It is the Mercenaries Guild. You know it to be. and perhaps a point of interest. But with that being said, Mandion Gelden, you watch as these kind of like gold cloaked individuals escort Merlin, the guy that you saw before, over to the left side of the road, and they kind of have like a sidewalk area, and that is where you spot another like one or two of these figures further down over yonder, and the entire left side of the road, from where you guys entered, it seems to be like all of these like black iron bars that continue on, and then it seems to be enclosing structures. It seems like a compound to you of some kind. And there's a brief exchange before, you know, Merlin is dragged into this area. And that's where the gallows are. You surmise this area to be the jail ward.
All right. Sorry. Where on the? Oh, jail ward.
Yeah. But yep. Boom. Boom. You know, you're right here, just getting through the southern gate now. And you watch these guys. These guys have a much, you know, they have their own route there on the side of the road. That, you know, it's clearly, you know, made for law enforcement, as some, you know, some type of express way. As Merlin is dragged behind the iron bars into this large courtyard area, and that is where you notice the gallows. And there's quite a few structures in that area.
I'd like to try to stand by the. I'll try to like lead the group, stand by the corner of a building, and observe what they do with him.
Okay, very good, very good. You could potentially try to swell down this alleyway that you see over yonder. It could be a possible option.
I would like to give that a try.
You spot out of the corner of your eye these you know, like some cases double, triple stacked homes. They're like a combination of like brick and woodwork, etc. It's very, you know, very seems like layered on and constructed over time. And you are able to swell over there, gentlemen, without attracting too much attention. It isn't long before you are all gathered here at the mouth of this small alleyway, and it's a bit of an imposing sight. You know, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, the various, like, you know, nooks and crannies of Garza. You know, it can be tight quarters and it can be very labyrinthine. It's only expanded since you've been here last a few years ago. But right now, you guys seem to have your own, you know, moment of reprieve here, watching the sea of people moving over yonder. Mandy and Gelden, why don't you make another perception check for me to try to keep track of what occurs with poor Merlin?
Sure.
You watch as Merlin's like, "Oh, you're not gonna catch me!" And he breaks free of hold of, you know, two of these quote guards. And there's another two over yonder that have these large pole arms. They're probably about, you know, a good 6-7 feet or so length, and they have these big, like, sea-like heads on them. You know, these heads forming like a sea, with like teeth. and they race up behind Merlin as he like, trips over in like the dust of this courtyard, and they jam it around like the joints of his person. Skeezewell Binbag. Well, you know, I don't know. Would Mandion and Gelden know what a man catcher is?
Oh.
Right?
I don't know. Would
I think-
would I?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I mean, it's, you know, I mean, you do now. You do now, really.
All right.
I feel like Skeezewell Bingbag would know him by name. But he probably isn't able to quite make it out. It's pretty nasty. It seems like Merlin, you know, is already bound, but like these pole arms, you know, just you know, he has no choice once he's pinned down by one of these things, it seems. And he is restrained and dragged into one of these large buildings, and then that's the last you see of him.
Well, I'm certainly not gonna pursue them. So I turn around and nod to the group and decide to head back to the main road. See if we can head deeper into the city or something. How does everyone else feel about that? Agree?
Let's do it.
All right.
All right. Feeling it best to kind of continue along with the shuffle of the busy midday traffic. You gentlemen continue along over yonder. Pushing along, unfortunately, if you deciding to stick with the main road to not draw suspicion, travel speed's a little limited, and you do get a good look at this courtyard area, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker. You know it to be the jail ward, an entire complex devoted purely to law enforcement and imprisonment, etc. It's a nasty place that no one wants to be. However, you don't recognize these gold-cloaked individuals. They seem like you to be a new addition.
Interesting.
As you're pushing over yonder, gentlemen, shuffling through the busy, the busy, packed main road, you can hear Syphax like, oh, no way! I can't believe it! And he points over yonder at this large building, over along the way. He's like, oh, man, that's the place. You guys want any drinks? You guys want any food? They got the best stuff over there, I'm telling you right now.
Drinks and food.
Mm-hmm. And maybe a place to stay, too. Might be a bit more on the expensive side, though. Everyone wants to go to Red-Faced Jack's.
Well, might as well treat ourselves after such a trip like that.
Yes, a nice warm bed.
Yeah, maybe you can get set up with a bed.
Oh, all right. Well, we should go there at the end of the day. It's only noon. We should do more exploring, Syphax says.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
But man, if we want dinner, I'm telling you guys, that's the place.
I'll make sure I make a note of it. Good
Yeah,
idea,
very good.
Syphax. We'll come back here.
Red-Faced Jack's marked on the map for all to see. Finest eatery in Ala, so they say. All right, you gentlemen continue shuffling along the main road as it's getting a tad past noon at this time, and as you guys are getting just about past Red-Faced Jack's, the traffic is starting to lighten up a bit. You're no longer shoulder to shoulder at this point. Once you're past kind of like the Red-Faced Jack's Plaza area, see the traffic is kind of like dispersing, and people are funneling out, taking some side routes. Some more of the familiar locals are, helping to shorten their travel time and etc. And you gentlemen are pushing your way along. Are we just traveling deeper into the heart, gentlemen? Is anyone looking for anything while you guys are walking along, or are we just on our way?
I'm looking for some sort of shopping center or something. I don't know about you guys.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm particularly looking for somewhere to offload on a couple of items, particularly a weapon and some animal parts.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. So be it. So be it. You know there to be a market district just further up the main road on the left. Master Bone-Breaker.
And I will say that to the group, and I will lead the way.
Okay, very good. Excellent. Excellent. You take note of one or two, I would say three men-at-arms sitting by a nearby alleyway. That kind of give you a bit of a glance, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, but you know, it's nothing more than looks, and they allow all of the traveling band to pass. It's not long before you gentlemen are at the very corner of the market district. I will update the bounds of it for you now. Behold the market district in all its glory.
Very nice.
It's quite sizable. It is a... Let's see, what is the market district? I better check. Yeah, very, very bizarre, like a slew of dozens and dozens of merchants and traders. This is like the trade hub. A majority, it seems, of like the traffic that was coming into the city is like, you know, funneling in and dispersing out around this area. There's a, you know, you see all kinds of different tents and, you know, different merchants saying out, you know, calling out for all different types of, you know, foods and, you know, et cetera, you know, there's all types of exotic animals and cages and, you know, et cetera, so on. You guys are certainly in the right place. Syphax is, you know, lost in wonder at, you know, all of the things around. You know, he's like poking at like a three-eyed monkey in like a cage, and the three-eyed monkey's like trying to bite his finger and stuff like, oh, and you know, there's a plethora of things to keep an eye out for. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, you got
food. How about a normal looking food stall? Or you can buy some rations.
You kind of stuck. You're kind of, you know, stumbling a little bit and a little lost by the pure, you know, like sensory assault that is, you know, like all like the merchants, like, you know, yelling out their wares and, you know, trying to flag down, you know, people on the street, you know, to like, you know, garner business, you know, etc. Very flea market, very bizarre like atmosphere. Dialed up to like, you know, 100, because there's, you know, seems like there's people of all different walks of life here selling all different, you know, all different manner of services and, you know, et cetera. So you kind of find yourself wandering a bit on the fringe, and look over yonder and kind of follow your nose. And eventually you find what looks to be a promising looking food stall up to the north.
Ooh, nice. Nice. I would like to go visit that food stall and see what they have on offer.
Kind of part the way, and it gives you a little break and a little reprieve from the crowds of the market as you head over to this small food stall. Let's see. Let me see. You see what appears to be kind of like a small, like, you know, shack-like hut almost to some degree, with one side of it, you know, seems to be open, and there's a few kind of like, you know, drapes hanging down from the top of it to kind of act like a small divider or so for like customers to kind of hang in. And there's some stools visible for this little area. It seems like, you know, again, a small kind of like food stall eatery where one can dine. Taking a little bit of shelter from the surrounding environment.
Very
nice. The smell is heavenly.
Very good. I'd like to see if they have any food to go that has some shelf life.
Very good. You see like an older man with a kind of like a draping mustache, and shut squinting eyes, kind of like turns around and looks at you. Yes, welcome. Food to go, you say? I suppose I can whip up something for you. Noodles are good at any time, yes? And
I suppose so.
And he can offer
It's
you
gonna be for traveling. Sorry, God.
He can offer you a ration, For 2 gold each.
2 gold each, huh?
Yeah, not too bad.
It's not horrendous. It's not horrendous. You have anything that's not noodles for 1 gold each?
Hmm. No. Sorry.
Hmm.
We're mostly noodles around here. I can throw in some meat with the noodles.
Hmm.
That's the best I can do.
Deal. I'll take 5 of those.
Huh. Sweet. 5 orders coming up. And you can see this guy goes about you know, cooking up some sick, delectable ramen noodles for you
Nice.
to consume at whatever date you choose. Let's see. So that's what 10 gold for 5 rations.
10 GP.
Okay, very good. So be it. So be it. Another 15 minutes or so, and you'll have your way. During these 15 minutes, Skeezewell, Binbag, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, you are lost in shopping heaven. Mandion Gelden's tapered off. You gentlemen are, you know, after a good few minutes of searching or so, you see Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, what appears to be a rather exotic weapon vendor. Let me see here. Messed up.
Oh, I swear.
Whoa. There's a bunch. Let's see. Yeah, you guys stumble upon a rather exotic weapon vendor. A more slender looking man with many a weapon on display. It seems at his arsenal.
I would like to approach.
Very good. Seems like kind of a bit more of a fine, flamboyant gentleman. An eye patch adorned upon his head and bald as well. Like probably along middle aged in his life. What can I do for you, senor?
I'm looking to get rid of a couple of items here.
What is it I can lift off your person? I am always looking for some interesting things.
I show him 4 daggers, a light hammer, and a war hammer.
Not so bad. Some of it's seen some use, but you've kept it in good condition. I'll give you 50 gold for all of it, say yes?
50, you say? I eyeball the guy. What kind of a stature and build does this guy have?
Doesn't seem like he's a... Ooh, you know what? Give me a insight check, Master Bone-Breaker. He seems pretty stoic in his composure. Doesn't seem like the most heavily armored type of man. It seems like he could very well be one of those martial fighting types, and seems to be a bit more of a agility based individual. But other than that, it's hard to tell. He's not overtly muscular as far as you can say. He doesn't seem any stronger than you necessarily.
Okay. Does he have perhaps like a bodyguard hanging around or something?
You do take note of, you do take note of the, occasional, like, just guard that seems to be making their way, to and fro on the huge. As far as, what you spot around here, you see kind of, a guy or two that you think could be, muscle for this guy in particular, that are keeping it, kind of cool and chalant and just kind of posting up. But it's hard to say without eyeballing him down too bad.
Well,
it's
I
the
would like
case.
to propose a wager to him. I say, if you have some muscle around here, someone you think that would be on my level, I'd like to wager an extra 10 gold on if they could beat me in an arm wrestle. Either you pay me 40 for everything if I lose, or 60 if I win.
Make a persuasion check, Ulzgud Bone-Breaker.
Ooh.
I am sorry, my friend. It is not that kind of place. 50 gold, take it or leave it.
Alright, I'll do it.
Okay, alright, very good, very good. You may cough out, you may remove the items from your inventory as you kind of pass them over one of his large tables he has over his over his rather large tent that he has on display. In a good amount of display cases, you see quite a few different types of like spears and bladed weapons, cudgel weapons. There are quite is quite the arsenal on display. A lot of them looking a little exotic and Western in nature. And by Western, I mean like Eastern for our
Okay.
as far as like we would consider for a style. But that type of style would be more westward, I think, in this case. Is that true? Oh wait, no, it's not true. It would be eastward. Excuse me. Anyway, yeah, some exotic weapons, and you get your 50 gold in full.
And I just ask the man to point me in the direction of where to get rid of some animal parts.
I think you just find a hunting vendor down the way, and he just points you down the road, and you can see what appears to be some kind of like around like the animal cages and so on, a like butcher-esque individual. Best of luck.
Thanks.
He drives a hard bargain, and he bids you adieu. Just kind of move away from this eye-patched swordsman. And make your way over toward this butcher. Does anyone else want to do anything pressing? Skeezewell, Binbag, are you trying to strike any deals or?
Yeah. Skeezewell wants to find someone who will buy the bear pelt. But maybe not the same person that Ulzgud is going to.
I mean, I would say you had first dibs because I would say you would have had some free time while Ulzgud Bone-Breaker was negotiating with this weapon vendor. So it's up to you if you want first dibs or if you want to prowl about and see if you can find a different individual.
Yeah, because Skeezewell's gonna run a scam with his newfound abilities.
Okay, so be it. You trail around for about a good 2 or 3 minutes, and then you find what looks to be about like a huntsman, a bit more of an aged gentleman. Seems like he has like a helper or two, but nothing really in the way of muscle. And the helpers don't seem the most attentive and seem to be quick, often moving freight. So, it could seem like a potential mark.
Can Skeezewell roll something to size up this person?
Yeah. Do an insight check. Casing it out for about a minute or two. And you're kind of like looming around and trying to eavesdrop on him trying to speak to other passersby that are interested. Hit him with that pipe of insight. Ooh. Seems like a bit more of a hard-ass guy. You don't know. It might, that doesn't sound like he'd be too susceptible. It's hard to say.
All right, Skeezewell is going to approach the trader.
Very good. Very good. This man kind of looks up to you. You see he has like one graying eye and a bit of a scar upon his, his rather full graying beard, his sunken, wrinkled eyes, and he has some type of, furred creature, for a head wrap upon his head. It's like, yes, welcome. Can I interest you in some sausage?
I'm looking to sell a pelt. A fine bear pelt. The finest in the land. That I've seen, at least.
Plenty of fine bear around these parts, stranger. Where'd you get it?
Where did I get this bear pelt?
I imagine it was one of the ones you slayed down by the Trident River, I guess. I don't know what other
Trident River.
bears you guys came across.
Skeezewell relays the origins of the bear pelt, embellishing all the fine details of the bear itself.
Oh, yes, and hardy in strength. Tough going down, but I knew it'd have a fine pelt for it.
Oh, very good then. Very good then. You must be quite the hunter.
Yes, I run with a good lot.
Good. So, how much do you want for it?
Please examine it.
Skeezewell lets him hold the bear pelt.
Yeah, very good. Very good. He does. He
All
does
right,
so. He
this
does
is-
so.
This is where the bullshit starts. So let me just make sure I can actually do this.
Oh, he's just kind of
Um,
checking out close. He's, seems fine to me.
all right. So when it says one action for a suggestion, how long does that actually take?
I mean, if it was in combat, right? You only have time to do one action on your turn in combat, right? And
Right.
a turn of combat would be like 6 seconds. So generally, it's somewhere from the 3 to 6 second mark. Depending, it really depends on the nature of it. But somewhere around there. It would be brief, but not something that could be done, so swiftly as to give it a chance of going unnoticed completely, that'd be like a bonus action thing or whatever. You could always do like a sleight of hand check to attempt to conceal, like the casting of a spell or whatever, and keep it as subtle as you think you can.
The rolls are about to begin. So, I am going to attempt to very sneakily and sleight of handily reach into my component's pouch, which is on my hip.
Okay.
Get the required snake tongue and sweet oil
Okay. Give me.
to crush for the spell to take effect.
Very good. Very good. First things first. Give me a deception check, because you've been kind of or persuasion if you want. It's up to you. Because you've been kind of buttering this guy up a little bit. So I want to see I would say you've lowered this guy's guard down a little bit, because it's not like you're some filthy young ruffian. You are a rather clean looking, stoic, slightly older man yourself, Master Master Binbag's no spring chicken necessarily. So it's one seasoned man speaking to another seasoned man. And there seems to be a light, he seems to be lowering his guard slightly. So with that being said, please continue with your sleight of hand check to try to stealthily cast suggestion as he's examining this.
Please, we take a look at the fine tanning work.
Okay.
Yes,
18's
a
pretty good.
fine pelt.
Skeezewell reaches.
Yeah, it seems like he's mostly preoccupied with examining this, this material you're attempting to sell. Seems like he's taking a genuine interest into it. 18 sleight of hand's
All right,
pretty good.
I've already taken the slot.
Okay. Very good. Very good. A cast time of 1 action. You're well within 30 feet. Yeah, it has a verbal. It has a verbal component. So if you want to try
Yes,
to
it
like
does.
slide it, the verbal component will be whatever your suggestion is.
Now, you see, this is a pelt of the finest quality. You'll pay no less than 200 gold for this pelt. And then you will take this pelt home for safekeeping.
And then yeah, initially
So
you can see a mixed reaction. And let's see. Target must make a wisdom saving throw. Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. Let's see. I wonder if I have something appropriate. Let's see. Let's see. He's got a wisdom save coming up. Oh my god! It was a natural 20. Oh god. Okay.
we've seen this trick before.
What happens if he makes the fucking save?
He just doesn't. There's no like negative effect. It just says
Yeah.
if he
Yeah.
fails, they do the action.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I would say with your sleight of hand, fucking. He does. There's no spell casting noticed. He only had a +1 to his wisdom. He got 20. 20 for 21. It's fucked up. Okay. All right. Well. Jesus Christ. They're just kind of checking. It's like, no. I mean, 200's just a bit out of my ballpark, I'm afraid.
Skeezewell, perturbed by the spell's lack of effectiveness, but still a businessman at heart, says, through almost bared teeth, but he does maintain his composure. He says,
Well, I am willing to negotiate.
Could you do 75?
It's a bit lower than I'd imagined.
Times are rough around here. Now the people can't use fireballs to hunt freely.
I wouldn't know anything about that, but seeing as I've no choice and it's heavy as is, I'd be willing to do 85 gold.
So be it. It's a deal, stranger. And he takes the bear pelt and gives you 85 gold for it. Skeezewell Binbag, which is probably a good deal more than that bear pelt was worth. You feel you got out pretty good on that one.
Hey, would you mind throwing in a sausage? I'm a pretty important businessman in these parts.
Make a persuasion check. Or a deception.
I'll roll
bit of
deception
both.
this time.
It was a bit of both. Sorry, it's 10 gold for one of these primo Struthiomimus sausages. I don't give these out to anyone.
Very well. I'll pay the price then.
Damn, you pay
So
10 gold for a Struthiomimus sausage?
Skeezewell will exchange that 10 gold haggled
Okay.
for the sausage indeed.
Okay, alright. May have a Struthiomimus sausage.
Sick.
That's how you spell Struthiomimus.
Nice. Stroop.
Okay, alright, very good. Very good. Ulzgud Bone-Breaker, you are heading over to your butcher at this time. What is it you're trying to sell to this man who's kind of like hacking off like a Struthiomimus tail at this time? He's like, Struthiomimus. Oh, hello there, stranger.
Hello. I have some bones I would like to perhaps get rid of.
Oh, bones say.
Some other bits and pieces.
Okay. Oh, what are you, a hunter or something?
I consider myself a collector.
Oh, cool. Interesting. Interesting. Well, show me what you got. What are you trying to pawn off, Master Bone-Breaker?
I will start off by showing him the tusks of the crazy creature that stunk so
Ooh.
bad.
Ooh, the Catablebus tusks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, not too bad. You ever seen anything like these before?
They're pretty rare. They're pretty rare. Unfortunately, there's not too much use for them. I could take them off your hands.
What are you offering to pay for them?
How many do you have?
2.
I'd probably pay a good 20 gold each.
Okay. And what about these? And I show him my dire bear claws and
Ooh.
my cliff racer plumes and tails.
Oh, shit. Oh, damn. Damn, let's see. Let's see. So we'll do 20 gold. I might as well write this down. It's 20 gold each for the fucking... What was oh yeah, the fucking tuss.
Mm-hmm.
He'll give you 10 gold each. The dire bear claws. And what was the other one you wanted to get? You wanted to do?
Cliff racer tails and plumes.
Ooh, ooh. Cliff Racer tails would be like 3 gold, not very valuable at all. Cliff Racer plumes would be worth a good 6 gold each.
I have 3 of each of those.
Yeah, the plumes are
So-
worth grabbing.
I got 3 plumes, 3 tails, 4 bear claws, and 2 tusks.
Damn. I mean, he'll take it all if you're willing to settle on those terms.
Yeah, I will.
Okay. All right. All right. I don't know how much that is necessarily, but you can add it up.
I shall.
The prices are as written, my sweet friend. Seem like you're making out pretty good already. It's quite different being surrounded by, all these merchants everywhere.
That is 107 gold.
Very good. Very good. It's a fine price. Fine material. You ever do any great hunts and need to pawn something off, you know who to come to.
I do. What is your name, sir?
Call me Glasgon.
Glasgon, I am Ulzgud Bone-Breaker.
Well met.
Look forward to doing future business with you.
Count on it. And then and the large kind of more portly man bids you adieu. Bids you adieu for now. Glasgon the Butcher is born. And established. I'll add him next time because he was not pre-planned. He's here now.
That's gone.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anything else, gentlemen? I mean, you've well finished up your meal reception at this time, and you're a little skeptical of how long the ramen the ramen pork, you know, assemblage rations will necessarily last, but you know, you should go through them quick enough.
Hmm.
And the bag of holding, who knows? They'll probably last even better.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Let me look in my bag of holding. Yeah, is there anyone around selling vials of goods, potions
Oh,
and such, liquids?
ooh. You find you look around for like, you know, a good few 5-10 minutes. You find one dude who's selling eggs. He's selling just all, you know, he's just selling all different kinds of eggs. Eggs, get your chicken eggs, get your dragon eggs, eggs. And then it's, you know, oh yeah, this guy just fucking, this guy's, you know, just going crazy, you know, he's just screaming about eggs. So you know he's selling eggs, supposedly. And you find this other dude who's pretty sick. He had like a big long white like curled up beard, and like a head turban of some caliber. And he proclaimed himself to be a wind jar merchant, selling all different types of wind jars.
Wind jars.
Yes. Not, unfortunately, not liquids, but a similar effect. You could inquire about the wind jars if you want to, or move on.
I'll inquire about them. I'll ask them just a blanket statement. Hey, what do these do? As if I'm clueless.
No, varies by type. Could be anywhere from 10 gold for a simple one of spring air to 25,000 gold pieces for an adamantine case containing thundercloud ozone from the Cloudwall Mountains.
But why, sir? Why would I need such a thing?
Clearly, you've never dealt with the thundercloud ozone of the Cloudwall Mountains.
I don't even know what that is, sir. Why would I pay such a ridiculous amount of money for that?
It could turn a hill giant to stone. But if you have no idea of such a thing and its value, then you have no need of it. There's many here for you to pick from, sir.
What does this one do? And I pick up a random one off the shelf and toss it in my hands.
That is a wind jar of fire resistance.
Huh. So, how do you use it?
Huh. Well, you simply open it up upon where you want to have the effect be, and it will consume upon you. Most warriors like to break it at their feet. That works fine. Or if it's a, hostile effect, you could throw it at an enemy.
Seems more like a fad to me. Your prices are a bit high. Maybe I'll come by when you've grown some sensibilities. And Mandion will continue his search for liquids instead of a man selling air in a jar.
Interesting, but not quite what you were looking for. Not the most impressive carry on your way. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there's so many options. It's hard to pick. It's hard to find just one thing. Indeed, and you would imagine a potion vendor to be a fairly common occurrence around here, but it seems to be a bit more on the rare side. You could ask around if you have the desire to, because I will tell you that your search comes up pretty rough.
Interesting. Okay. I would like to try to find an arms dealer. We saw one, right? I thought we saw one.
Yeah, Skeezewell Binbag and Ulzgud Bone-Breaker found one. Pouring around a little bit, you kind of return to one of the central main roads, and find a weapon vendor. The one dealing in exotic Eastern weaponry and various other weaponry. but a good portion of it Eastern and exotic. And this eye-patched, slender individual beckons you forth, saying, "Ah, you seem like a man who could use a weapon, senor."
Huh. Maybe even a few weapons.
Mm.
It may surprise you.
And he kind of motions to his wares. A good portion of the nice ones hidden behind, these nice glass display cases that are sitting upon these, these tables underneath this very large tent. Please let me know what you desire. I'm sure I can find something for you.
I take a look around and I say, well, I'm just really looking for some average short swords. Doesn't have to be
Average.
anything special, if I'm going to be honest.
Oh, I see. You want it for some other purpose than to have at your side? Because if you want something that you want to rely on, I can only recommend the best. But if you want something to throw away, then I can get you something cheap.
No, it definitely doesn't need to be reliable. It's more going to be more for material use, sir.
I see. So you just need a blade then. Perhaps I can save you even more money in that regard, senor.
Yeah, that should do. That should do.
I have some spare laying around. And he fetches for you a short sword blade or two. Depending how many do you think you desire?
I'll take 2 if he has them.
Okay, yeah. He gets you 2, and they're about of equal size as well.
No, perfect.
Seems to be in pretty good condition. You can do an investigation check if you want to really check out the wares.
Are those really short sword blades?
They look good. Yeah, yep.
Nice.
Yep, they seem real. They seem, seems like good steel. Seems good to you.
Very good.
Seems like it'll hold a decent edge. He offers them to you for 12 gold pieces each.
12 gold pieces each. That's not a terrible price.
It is good steel, senor. I'm sure you can verify. You seem like a man who knows your metal.
Well, I suppose a little bit. I will drop him the full 24 gold for the 2 blades.
Ah,
Without
very good,
arguing.
senor. And he happily hands them over to you, and you have 2 short sword blades
Very good.
of quality, it seems to you. And he kind of motions over yonder. He's like, now, perhaps I can interest you in this sweet prize. I've been meaning to get rid of this. And he motions over to a rapier that is over in a display case over yonder. It's hard for me to say, but perhaps, someone who values speed of a weapon and flexibility. Look no further. I have something for you right here.
I haven't practiced with such a weapon, but I don't know. Don't you think it seems a little dainty?
Here, let's take a seat for yourself. And he opens up the display case and takes out this rapier and brings it on over to you to allow you to take a closer look at it. It's a bit more thicker at the hilt than perhaps you first surmise, and it has a pretty full on guard to cover the entirety of the hand, which might very well get in the way of your gauntlets. Unfortunately, in your case, what would be a normal positive might be, a bit of a hindrance in that regard. But you think, I don't know, you think it may not be so bad. They're quite spacious, just encompassing. And you notice that there's little serrations all along the top, the size of this needle-long blade, just shy of the length of a long sword. Pretty sizable. Yes. It is not quite the noble's weapon. It is more of a warrior's weapon. Yes.
Well, definitely doesn't look like it has as much grace as a noble's weapon, but probably do some damage. You have anything for me to test it out on?
I'm sure I can find you something. And he goes about and he goes about setting up a small, hay, small hay, figurine that he had over yonder in the back, and propping it up along one of the posts of the nearby tent, and allows you to take a swing at it. I didn't have something necessarily prepared, of course. But I'll let you take a swing with a rapier to see if you like the idea of a rapier.
Okay.
But it will not have the final stats of this weapon in particular, because this
It's
weapon.
more for fit and finish to see if it works well with my suit and all that.
Indeed.
If there's any conflicts.
I've added it to your list of attacks. It should have populated at like the very bottom. Make a strike with it if you dare. Make a few.
And Gelden pierces the hay bale multiple times. Pew, pew, pew. Oh my god, I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
He's like, it's all about footwork and using the elbow and lunges. And you're like, huh, elbow, lunges, and footwork, huh? I don't know about that. And you pull off like a flourish, like almost masterfully immediately, like piercing both of the eyes. Like of the dummy. He's like, oh, he's a natural. Watch out! And then me, like your other one, like cuts the tent. You're like, oh shit! And you got another one that like thrust right through. It's like, not so bad, yes.
It's pretty dangerous, but I can manipulate it very quickly. How much are you charging for a piece of equipment such as this?
Well, for that one there in particular, I'm afraid I can do you no less than 300 gold.
300 gold? There's barely any material here.
It is true, but it is the way that the little material is placed that makes it so fine. The balance so excellent. Light enough, it is almost not even there. You could even pierce through chainmail with it. It is so sharp down to the point.
I suppose so. Do you have any interest in a trade as part of the deal?
Potentially, senor. What do you have?
Mandion Gelden will retrieve the fire and lightning javelins from his equipment, sparkling with energy, and ask him if he has any interest in these.
Not so bad, not so bad. Though, not something that sticks around for very long. It will help. It is something I can take. I'll give you 10 gold each for them. It is all I can spare.
10 gold each.
I'm afraid so, senor. I'm afraid so, senor. They aren't as rare nowadays, even with the ban.
Sorry, I'm looking. One sec.
No, it's fine. In this serrated rapier, rather than doing a D8 damage, we'll likely do a D10.
Nice, okay. Well, I will place down the rapier. Say, well, as much of a fine weapon it is, I simply can't bring myself to pay that much. But
so be it, senor. I figured I'd give it a shot.
Well, it sounds like you've been looking to get rid of it for a while. If you change your mind and decide that you can provide a discount, maybe 200 before I leave, you'll likely see me around.
Very good, senor. Do check back before you go.
I will indeed. Thank you for the blades.
He gives you a bit of a flamboyant nod, and you move on your way, Mandion Gelden.
Very interesting.
Blades in hand. And I think, gentlemen, this is where we will call our session for the evening. In the hustle and bustle of the city, so much to do. If I don't dare jump everything out at once.
A little trading, a little shopping.
Yeah, a muscle that hasn't been flexed very hard in the campaign so far.
No, just with Arvel.
You know, so it'll be a training exercise for us all, I feel.
For sure.
Well, regardless, gentlemen, cheers. Thank you very much for attending another episode of the Champions of Nirn, starring the Crimson Bones. What could be
Cheers,
better?
pleasure.
What could
Thank
be
you.
better?
Yeah.
Man. Ah, cheers.